So they were very impressed because the amount of growth and the amount of work that I did in that short span. So I need to do something sneaky to get the thing done. They were like hell impressed and they said, okay.
You've grown a lot. You've gone from almost zero, just starting out, applying as a TA in an edtech to, now working at a VC-backed company. So
right now I'm pursuing BCA. I'm in second year. I'm just pursuing it from a local Tier 3 college here. The main problem in Tier 3 is like there is not many people who realize what kind of opportunity they can have if they just kind of work hard, and they don't realize it. So yeah, talking about the peer group, it's not that good. It's mostly like the guys who are just more dependent on college. That's when I got to know that you are launching a cohort, and I was very hesitant. Okay, should I buy it? Should I not? And it played out really effing well, man. Can't thank you enough.
So hi everyone, welcome to a new podcast. In this podcast, we have Vineet, who has recently joined a VC-backed startup and is in talks in getting into another one. We'll understand his journey from the top. He's been coding for a really long time. He was part of cohort 2.0. He was one of the highest contributors right from the beginning. We'll understand what it takes to get hired at a VC-backed startup.
So I'm originally from West Bengal, India, and right now I'm pursuing BCA. I'm in second year. I'm just pursuing it from a local Tier 3 college here. And like about my schooling, I have done from the same school. I've done both 10th and 12th, and I'm from an ICSE background. Along with that, I'm not a science student, I'm a commerce student. Initially, my dream was to become a CA, but it at the end it pivoted to computer science. And being a commerce student, I didn't had that privilege to get admission to a BTech admission. So that's why I thought that okay, if I have to pursue computer science, I think BC is just my way, and I had maths, so I was able to get it. And talking about the coding attraction, the thing that I got for the coding was just initially I remember that in class 10th, initially what happens is in ICSE, in the ICSE syllabus itself, we have a Java in class 10th. It starts from class 8 and it's there till class 10th, and there is some high level Java towards class 12 too if you choose computer science. So initially I started coding there itself, along with some basic HTML, CSS thingies. Used to flex all of the little projects that I made just by copying some guy on the YouTube and just flexing it around my friends. So yeah, that was cool, and that's probably the only motivation. I thought that okay, pursuing computer science would be cool because people when they see cool things just in front of the eyes, they get kind of crazy. So I think that this was just the thing for me. And initially the attraction towards the whole computer science thingy and taking it seriously started it around at the end of 12th probably. Yeah. Before that, I had the mind of getting into CA. The whole story goes back from in class 8 itself, because as the school that I study in allows us to choose what stream we want to pursue from class 8 onwards itself. So we got to, okay, do you want to go to science stream? Do you want to go to commerce stream? Or do you want to go for arts? What's your choice? So initially I thought, why should we why would I study 3 subjects to get a good marks in 10th when I can just study just one and I can get good marks? काम चोरी का दिमाग था उस टाइम और कुछ नहीं. So and initially CA का भी था. Papa was like, okay भाई CA कर. So I thought okay, CA was the thing to go. So that's why I took it. Then class 11th, I got to know that okay, life is getting serious. I need to think something for myself and what I have to do. So I thought initially, okay, CA kar lenge. And then initially something happened. I got attracted to computer science and the coding part and stuff. Started doing little React and building out some cool applications. Not so cool, but yeah. Us time play, just getting my own IP address printed on the web page was a big thing for me. So that was the first thing that I did, and I got very interested. Okay, I think if I can do this, I can do a lot more. So yeah, initially the whole thing journey started from there itself.
Makes a lot of sense. So you were destined to be a CA, at least your family wanted you to be that. You were in ICSE, you chose commerce, but yet decided you want to do computer science, and then you pursued BCA from what kind of a college? Is it a good college? How's your peer group over there?
Okay, so talking about Tier, how is the college? I think it's good enough. But yeah, talking about the peer group, I think the main problem in Tier 3 is there is not many people who realize what kind of opportunity they can have if they just kind of work hard, and they don't realize it. So yeah, talking about the peer group, it's not that good. It's mostly the guys who are just more dependent on college, that they're gonna getting everything from college itself. At the end, they just right now they are regretting. So yeah, that's the scene
Got
here.
it.
It's pretty
Makes
bad.
sense. So how you differentiated yourself from your college? And number one, two questions. Uh, what made you, look out, as you said, you have been looking out from the beginning, not dependent on your college. And once you did, I know you're part of the cohort, but what other communities have you found which, pushed you in the direction or, opened your mind a little bit?
Okay, talking about that. First of all, like uh, there is it is not like I was not dependent on college from start. It was just like I had that I had that curiosity in the inside of me that yeah, okay, I have to go and do something good, get get something good for me and do a little out of the things that all of the college students are not doing. Probably go and learn some new language, go and try to get an internship somewhere, get some experience. And most of the thing I think that came after that was just from curiosity itself to go and learn more, to understand like how does the industry level works happen. Now there's a little story behind it. Actually, I got a freelance work last year from March. It was a website, and it was given by someone very close to my family, very close to me. Actually, he's in my family itself. Probably he'll be saying okay, दूर कर दिया, but no, he is in my family itself. So उन्होंने website दिया था, and I built that. वहाँ पर मेरे को लगा कि okay, I'm missing out a lot of things in me that I have to improve, and building some basic stuff on my own is not going to help it at all. So I have to find out a way to kind of get those real exposure and stuff. So that's why initially I started doing freelance. First of all, the reason was to get to explore the things in a much more deeper way and in much more like a pressured way, to be honest, because of course if you have someone to answer, you will be doing it anyhow, right? Second of all, I tried to kind of explore all of the opportunities that I may get. So at first I applied for a edtech TA job, and it was like a good one. I got shortlisted among like 25,000 students just from my resume and stuff. So and then we like scheduled a call. We had like two interviews, I think one, probably two interviews, and then I cleared it and I got the offer. Probably I rejected it because the clauses were pretty tight, but yeah, that was the initial self booster for me, self confidence booster for me, that made me realize okay, probably like Vineet, you can do something, and probably if you got this, you can get other one too, right? If you just work hard enough, you can just become more skilled. And the TA job was on months track, so that kind of helped me to get all of the thing up and going and exploring more of the opportunities. But yeah, most of the things that I realized was I was following some YouTubers, for example like striver, for example like you and all. That's when I got to know that yeah, you are launching a code, and I was very hesitant. Okay, should I buy it, should I not, because this is a good amount of money for me at that time. It was so okay, I thought okay, I'll just give it a shot and buy it. And it played out really effing well, man.
That's
Can't
interesting.
thank you enough.
Got it. It's super interesting. So, uh, I would love to know, how did it pay out? What exactly helped out? I remember, so here's how I know your journey. I remember in January, you were the first person who picked up a random issue in, the first repository we open sourced. You and 𝗟𝗏𝗃 both created some segments thingy. You were on the first YouTube live that I did. So that's how I know you. So I would love to know, okay, what made you pick that issue? As I can tell already, when you throw a lot of darts. तुम बहुत ज़्यादा हाथ पैर मारते हो. So which is a very underrated skill in computer science. People just want to need a very structured path because that's what we've been taught. So I would love to know, okay, what made you pick those issues up, and what made you skilled enough to either work with that thing or independently. I don't know what was your what level of contribution you had there, and just try this out on your own with like no incentive at all. There was no incentive for you to make money on that specific issue.
Yeah, so the main motivation was like, first of all, if you remember, like you put out a bounty for like showing up that I think it was like the timeline segment over the video, right, over the video preview thing. And like I did it, I won that bounty. It was like for around like $50 somehow. Yeah, I did that. And then I was like very interested, okay, if I did this, probably there are some more issues that I can contribute and build it. So not talking about like the bounty, the incentive was very good. It was a bonus, but that was not the initial motivation. And then I talked with Ankur. Okay, like if I did this, there is another thing that you want me to pick and work on. So initially he said, okay, we want something for like a video preview over the thing, as you see on the YouTube. So can you make this thing? I was like, okay. Now the main problem was I was just in my own end sims. The end sims were going on, and I had like exam the next day. And I talked with Etsing. Okay, like Etsing was a very good friend of me. Just we met in the cohort and we discussed and we built some projects together, and that's how I got to know him much better. So I said to him, look, okay, yeah, idea, and let's collaborate and do it. So I shared him whatever thing I had, whatever findings that I did, because I sat on that for like probably 1 or 2 days. That was just in my in between my exams. I was like forsaking my exams, so I was like, okay, I'll get this done somehow. I'll try to do this. But yeah, so I sat for like 1 or 2 days and tried to figuring out how to do that. Before that, I'll just like I forgot about it. Remember you asked, I think Ankura, I don't know if you asked, some like one of you asked ki yaar wo chahiye tha. If you click on that control buttons over the video, if you click on this double tap 10 seconds forward, 10 seconds back and stuff. I remember like I did everything, and I like aggressively tagged you on Twitter. Okay, I did this, I did this, and you used to reply. And that kind of initially picked up, and then when we did the video segmentation thing and stuff, I DM'd you. You DM'd me back in the Twitter, and that's how we connected. And that's how like Etsing also, like Excel was a major part, because I didn't had any time contributing in that, because if I did, I would have failed my exams next day for sure. So I asked Etsing, okay, this is my findings up till here, please can you do something and probably build it. So he, of course, he's a very talented guy. He did it like in just one night probably, because he's just another level. So he said that, okay, I have done this. I just at that moment only I just shared that um, I picked up that video and URL and just posted it on Twitter and just tagged you there and said, okay, this is the one, and you just replied to it, and that's how we met. Yeah.
Got it. Super amazing. Yeah, that's how I came to know about you. And since then, like I haven't really helped you too much. You've had your own journey. You've picked up companies yourself, and in the last 6 months, professionally, you've grown a lot. I don't know if your skills have grown a lot in the last 6 months or not. They might have, they might not have. But at least professionally, from what I can see from the outside, जो तुम updates देते रहते हो, you've gone from almost zero, just starting out, applying as a TA in an edtech, to now working at a YC-backed company. So tell me that journey. Tell me how, number one, have you improved your skills in the last 6 months, or did you have enough skills initially, but you just did not have the right opportunity connect, जो बाद में आया पिछले 6 महीने में?
Okay, so talking about the skills, if I had it before, I would disagree, honestly. To be honest, I would disagree, because the most of the things that I realized, that was on like the main idea of like enrolling in the cohort was to getting to know how the industry standard to work around, and what is the thing that is being utilized, right? I knew about open source, I knew about how the things work out, I knew about GitHub and stuff, I knew all the basic stuff and stuff, but the main thing that I was missing was some guidance that, okay, this is something that you should probably go and explore and learn about and then apply it somewhere. And that was the major part that was missing, right? And probably like I had no one to guide me, like, at every step, that, okay, this is, if you have done this, you can probably go and do this is the good path. And I personally like feel very privileged that I didn't had that kind of guidance for the 6 months also. So it was like, okay, you have to do it somehow, you have to figure it what's the good way, what's the bad way. So first of all, that helped me grow a lot. It taught me like how to figure things out myself. Second, talking about the skills, if I had, I don't think so I had those skills that I'm having right now. In the last 6 months, I think I've grown a lot, honestly, both like professionally, both skill wise, and of course, talking about like if I had without the code, I don't think so it was like mostly possible, because the network that I had was the initial pioneer, was it was the initial pioneer that helped me set up all of the important things that I needed to learn and how can I do. And I basically juggled around different peoples and DMs and asked like, okay, what's you building, and I will just get onto it. Even if I'm not gonna contribute into it, I don't have time, I know it, but I will just go and look onto their code, what's happening there, and just try to assess, okay, this is the packages that I'm using, why is it getting used, is there any better alternatives to this? And that's how I picked up. And of course, the bonus was the freelance work that I was getting. It helped me to push my thinking out of the box, getting getting those unique solutions to the clients, making the benefit from them and stuff, and doing the work nicely. Yeah.
Got it. You mentioned guidance. Could you elaborate a little more on that? What do you mean by guidance over here?
By guidance, like I don't mean like one-to-one guidance. I mean like a distributed like group of peoples all having their own opinions, listening to all of them, and then just thinking, okay, if this opinion, okay, is this opinion good or not? Is this opinion good or not? Is this opinion, complementing the other one? And what is good and what is bad for me? And then understanding and then going from there. And that was like the biggest thing that I got from the cohort, the network that I had, and that initially helped me explore DevOps, explore good full stacks, the other stacks, like for example Merge, Next, and stuff, and then go on from there. And yeah, that's the story.
And you mentioned all of these conversations were happening on Discord primarily.
Yeah, it was on Discord. Yep, totally.
Makes sense. Cool. Cool, man. So let's get into your job journey now. Your first freelancing gig, your next freelancing gig. How did you reach the YC companies? How many hoops did you have to go through?
Okay, so talking about the first freelancing gig, initially it was just a simple website that I had to build back in March 2023, and
This was for your friend.
not for a friend, but actually for a client. It was just given me by someone very close to me. It's like he knew that I was into this thing, and he asked me, okay, he's also actually a software, not a software, but a cyber security specialist, probably. I'm not sure what's his position there, but he's working right now remotely. So it was given by him, and I thought that yeah, this is probably the first freelancing thing that I had. And talking about like how I got into YC company, it was like through a lot of hoops, to be honest. And it was again, there is always a luck factor. Honestly, there is always a luck factor, to be honest. And how it happened was, for the YC company, for the first YC company, I got a Twitter DM. The founder loved my website, and kind of initially DM'd me that if you're up for a gig or not. If you're up and if you're able to do it, and if you're able to, like, we will have an interview and stuff. If you're able to clear it, there is something good for you there. So I was like, okay, I'll do it. I'll pick it up. I got that work. He said, okay, या तो तुम इंटरव्यू ले रहे हो या तो तुम इसको सॉल्व कर रहे हो. इफ़ यू आर एबल टू डू एनी ऑफ देम, यू आर गुड टू गो. कर लूँगा, कुछ ना कुछ तो तुम्हारा जुगाड़ हो जाएगा. So I basically, like, first 3 or 4 days में I fixed their whole deployment stuff. I added a bunch of features. I basically undid मतलब मर चुका था वो, like undid the whole application that was like dead 2 years ago, and got it up and running. Fixed a lot of stuff, added a lot of stuff, made sure that things are working, got the deployment up and running, wrote the CI/CD pipelines and stuff. So they were very impressed because the amount of growth and the amount of work that I did in that short span. They initially had just one call with me, and after that they were like, okay, that's your call. If you want to start right now with us and you want to pursue this thing, the whole gig, because that's gonna be there. Or what you can do is you can just probably finish this off once and join us. So I initially said, okay, if I'm gonna be two timing on both of things, it's not gonna play well for me, right? Because I won't be able to give 100% of both of them. So it's better if I complete that first and then I will join you. And he was like, okay, fine, I'll agree. Now it was this was for a double-digit lakh figure, the first offer. So what
That's
happened
annual,
is there was, yeah, annually, double-digit lakh figure. So, and what happened was recently what happened was, I was just building the service, and we figured out, we got to know that the APIs that we are integrating for, shaping out the whole service doesn't provide us the value that we need them to provide us. It's not up to the mark. It's not going to do the job. So I need to do something sneaky to get the thing done. And I probably did it for 2 or 3 websites. I don't know, समझदार वाले समझ जाएंगे क्या किया है. So I got it done, and they were hell impressed, and they said, okay, we will hire you and we will get the work done. So it's not in the more like a freelance thing. You will get hire कर लेंगे, and then you can get the work going. And we'll just pay you as we're paying in the freelancing thing. ज़्यादा नहीं है. So we'll just pay you there. I'm not going to reveal any income thing, but yeah, it's ठीक ठाक है. So we'll do that, and then yeah.
So this is the first company you said, just the first YC company. Okay. So to kick things off, you said they reached out to you. I would love to know what made them reach out to you.
I don't know. I just said it's the luck factor. The founder initially out of the blue DM'd me on Twitter. He said he loved my website,
What is
and
your website?
wanted
Is this like a portfolio website?
Vineet.tech.
Vineet
Yeah,
dot
I did. Tech.
tech. All right, I'll check it out afterwards. Okay. But how did he come to know about your website? Were you tweeting your projects, your website? Oh, you were. Okay, makes sense.
Oh, actually, what I do is I kind of in Twitter, you know what works. If you tweet something very catchy or stuff in the first headline, it's just gonna be going viral. So I used to do this, and my all the tweets just went around like 5 to 10K. Every tweet is going more than that. So I was just doing it, and I had my portfolio up and the thing. Initially, the main idea for the Twitter posting was to just gain a lot of followers, not to show off my projects, because nobody gives a peep about it, and they just care about the sauce they're getting. So I just did that, and I was lucky enough that he did that, checked it out, and DM'd me, right, if you're free for a gig or not. And yeah, just one more thing, I actually used to post a little about my own freelancing thing and the clients and how happy they are and stuff. So probably that is what maybe he saw and DM'd me for this thing. And he said that, yeah, if you're able to do this, if you're able to do the job, because it was like mostly, it was very tough on their part, probably because they don't have any staffing there. The thing was, the project was of a friend of the founders, and he was working on it 2 years ago. But initially, he discarded it and moved on. So he wanted that to be backed up and get it up and running. So that's why he was founding some guys. But initially, they did hire someone's, didn't did the job, didn't didn't met the expectations. But like when they hired me, I met the expectations like within 3 or 4 days. So yeah, that was good.
God, so it's a 2-year-old YC backed startup, or maybe even older, and the code was just
Not no, no YC startup is like a good one. It's called TravelArrow.io. The project that I'm working on is of his friends. It's called concertcal.com, right? And yeah, so I have gotten an offer letter from the TravelArrow itself, and they have said, okay, bro, you have got an offer from us. And it was initially a project of ours only, but we discarded it. So just work on that.
okay.
Now you were just working on that, so just work on that, and I'll hire you and just get the things done.
Okay, so tell me if this is right. You got approached by the friend of a YC company,
Founder of a YC company.
founder of a YC company, to work for his friend's startup. Is that right?
Friends
Okay,
startup,
so you
yes.
overperformed there, and then the YC founder itself said, "Okay, ab yahin aa jao, you can join us as well." Makes sense. And then there was a conflict, so you said, "Let me finish things off there, and then I will join you full time." That makes a lot of sense. Okay, great. How that makes sense. Okay, ad hoc, you got reached out by someone. Okay, my friend needs help. US, mein, there are a lot of people trying out startups. You overperformed there. So then that guy was like, "Okay, bhai, idhar hi aa jao. Work with us." Makes sense. So what does the tech stack look like there, and how proficient were you at before that maybe? So this other company, it's like very archaic code base. You've just seen it for the first time, and you're just fixing everything left, right, and center. Koi engineer hi nahi hai wahan pe who has, there's like some code that's written years ago, and it's your job to bring it up. Is that the case?
Yep, that's exactly the case.
Got it. Makes sense. And TravelArrow, the company that you're now getting employed at full time, wahan pe you've not worked there at all abhi tak. They've just hired you based on your skills.
Yeah.
Okay. So what does the tech stack over there look like? What does TravelArrow do? What's your day-to-day going to look like? Do you know already?
Yeah, I do. So the tech stack in TravelArrow, I have not been given the access to the code base right now because I haven't signed the offer letter yet. I'll do it very soon. I actually said you about that, right? You already know all of the sauce. So yeah. So about that, and what does TravelArrow does is basically, like, let's say you go and book a flight using Google Flights. It's just more US centric. So if you go and just search about a flight there or a hotel or anything that's concerns your travel, and if there is any other service that has the same hotel that's on the same date for something cheaper, it will just recommend you automatically, okay, we have this for this amount cheaper, you want to go there. And if you do, you will get some cashback, you will get some benefits, you will get some great points, and in return they also make some money. So that's the basic idea of how TravelArrow works. And they have a lot, like, to quoting, they have around like 3 lakh people's user base as of now, and they're doing pretty fine. Now TravelArrow is like, the founder has 2 companies, with Cardlift and TravelArrow. TravelArrow was making bunch of money, so I don't think so, like, that's probably the reason they didn't needed any accelerator or stuff to initially back them up. But the with Cardlift is a YC company. is a YC based company, and that needed the acceleration and stuff. So that's why they applied and they got it. So like if I'm hired by Travel Arrow, I have to probably work on with Cardlift 2, on Travel Arrow 2, or probably in ConcertCal afterwards too. So I'm gonna be like jumping around. I don't know.
Got it. So the founder has a friend whose company you worked at, and the founder itself has two companies. One of the companies is YC backed. You'll be working at one of them. Okay, makes sense. Cool, man. What's your primary tech stack? What language do you code in? What are you really proficient in?
Really proficient, I would say like really proficient in like JS, of course, and TS. Primary tech stack is Next.js. Initially it used to be Mun, but yeah, initially I thought like Next.js, I kind of fell in love with it because I didn't wanted to write those React router stuff again. So that's why I was like, okay, Next.js is good, I'll just use this. And like talking about which language I'm proficient, like talking about the backend wise, I would say like I'm more confident in Node.js, but I'm thinking of switching to Golang very soon. And yeah, I'm on the journey right now to do that. But yeah.
Very cool. And you mentioned you built a bunch of CI/CD pipelines. Do you know DevOps well, or was this
Yeah.
pretty ad hoc? You somehow just brought things
You're
together.
the one who I have to give the credit for that.
You have to what?
You are the one who I will give credit for that, for teaching me that, for CI/CD
just
pipelines and stuff, for getting more proficient in DevOps, for getting more proficient in deployments. Because initially, let's say I didn't had that much money before, so of course I don't even have a credit card, and neither did I had that much of curiosity to go and explore DevOps right now, because I was much into development and all of the clients were handling their own development stuff. They didn't ask me to do it, so that's why I didn't explore that option earlier. And even the deployment stuff that I was asked to work on the ConcertCal was one of the most major ones, and I had zero knowledge about AWS. I didn't even know how to spin up a EC2 and log into it, SSH into it. So it was a good journey of 3 days. And initially, like your video, 𝗟𝗶𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀's video, and all of that helped me a lot. And initially, the CI/CD pipeline, I think you taught it just in one of the classes, right? There's a CI/CD pipeline class, and that initially helped me to build it on my own and get it done and running.
If someone wants to learn programming right now, in a very job-centric manner, they want to get a job at YC, any YC-backed startup, or generally any startup for double-digit lakh per annum, as you said, be it college or otherwise. I think double-digit annum, like lakh per annum, is not at all bad as your initial offer. So I would love to know, if you could give them a roadmap. Let's say it's a complete beginner. What would you suggest them to learn? What technologies? How should they learn them? And how quickly can they reach their first offer?
Okay. So I think if you're just starting out from this beginning, if you have not done anything at all, just go and first of all see what you can make as fast as possible. Now for everyone it's just like web development. Yeah, you can get it up and running and share it with bunch of friends very quickly. But in case of like OS thing, let's suppose you build something for Windows, an app using Electron or a mobile app, it's much harder to get it circulated to some users or someone or probably use it daily base, right? In that case, I will say that you go and just have a kink of how web development works, because it actually teaches you a lot of fundamentals that are needed for any kind of development. At the end, you are gonna be building if you're just gonna be like front end centric, you're gonna have to jump a lot of stacks. But if you're gonna go for the back end, I think if you have a very good knowledge, let's say you do web development and you get a very good knowledge of back end, you can utilize this anywhere possible, whether it be like OS app development, web, mobile, anything. Now, if you're starting from beginning, go and get just first of all learn any language. Let it be like Java. Just pick up the easy ones. Don't go for like Rust, Golang, because this is just gonna mess with your head at start. So just go and pick up an easy one. I'll just suggest Python or C. C is a very good one for building out the foundation. Or Java, you can pick any of the three. Go and from there, build out some basic applications, see how this thing works. Build out some GUI applications, see how those things works and how those things plays out. And if you're interested in any of them, let's say you like Python, right? Now you can move forward. Okay, what are the other things that you can use Python to kind of use it for other things, like build out web applications, APIs, anything like that. Go out, explore the stuff. First and last advice would be like just to never give out that leave that curiosity that you have inside of yourself for anything. Just go be curious enough, go and explore anything possible, anything, whether it be web, whether it be AI, whether it be web3, anything possible. At last you have to you will get that king that okay, this is something that I'm good at. This is something that kind of paying me a lot of money at this time, and probably this can help me get out of my situation, whatever situation you are in, and probably do something good. So yeah. Now talking about the roadmap, if you want to do, get a first of all, get a good programming language that you love, and of course you're not gonna get it because you're gonna hate it at first, but you will develop that love for that as you go and as you master it. Then go on, do web development. The reason that I suggested this is much easier for you to test and get circulated. That's why I suggest it. It's totally up to you. If you are more interested in mobile dev, you can just go for React Native. And yeah, one more point is, yeah, of course, if you learn React or web development, you can use the same logic that you have in the React Native too and build it. If you want to kind of go into mobile dev, you can go for Flutter, Swift, React Native, any of that. If you want to, it's the whole idea is like endless. There's endless number of implementations that you can, and endless number of paths that you can take. It's totally up to you. It's totally up to your curiosity. It's totally up to your the level of love that you have for the thing. Just make sure that you don't lose that curiosity inside of yourself, and also general, like, develop a kind of a love or attraction for that as you go on, because of course this is going to be a long term thing. It's not a short term thing. Some of the people's like get something in like very short term, and like luck played a lot in this part in my journey. I think God, luck, and my family played a major role in that. I am not the one who's gonna be taking credit for any of this. Yeah, I worked hard, but I think there is someone up there who's thinking, okay, this is time to reward me something. But yeah, if you're going through a hard phase or anything like that, just know that if you are in this thing long term, there is a lot of opportunities waiting for you.
Wow, that's super cool. Super cool. Interesting. So that makes a lot of sense for learning. Could you elaborate a bit on how can you create a little bit of luck so that founders can reach out, or you can reach out to founders? What should one do if they have built a few projects, have decent amount of skills? Other than luck, is there
Okay.
something you can do?
Yes, you can do. It's to just create opportunities if you don't get it. How do I did? I did it on one, like, there was one incident I did it. There is I was interning at end based startup, and it just ended today itself. So what happened was I just went around the website and do something good, and I can build out something nice looking for them. So I directly DM'd the founder and I said, okay, this your website is looking good, but I can probably like do something more good with this thing and build out something that you will probably like, and this is totally for free. But if I do this, I want to just kind of have any kind of opportunity that you have in your company and get me hired by interview or by anything. So he was like, I was very lucky enough. He had a design prepared at that moment of time. He just got a design prepared and he said, okay, give it a shot. I'll give you some a little amount of money and you have like 2 days for doing this. Within 7 hours, I contacted back him again with the landing page, and he was very impressed with it. And he said, okay, bro, done. Aja next hafte se.
Nice.
So this is something that you can do, is to be always like, see, there is always someone who's going to be taking, who's ready to take your opportunity. You have to be fast when you get it. You have to be very focused, and you have to create it yourself when you don't get it.
Makes a lot of sense. Last two questions for you. Do you do DSA? What's the importance of DSA? And what do you think is the importance of English in your whole journey?
Okay. DSA, of course, it's important. The reason why I say so is like, I will just point out like two important things why DSA is important. First of all, it helps you, like, the most general answer that you'll get from anyone is to develop your problem thinking, salute, like, the problem thinking ability of yours, and that's true for the most part. Second thing is, of course, it helps you, like all of the big top tier companies, for if you're aiming for FANG or MANG or like that, if of course they're gonna ask DSA, and that's the initial filtering out criteria that they have. And the initial technical launch, this is gonna ask for DSA, and then they're gonna move forward. If you're interning for not interning, if you're interviewing for like SD2, SD3, probably they will ask have some system design round and stuff. But I think for freshers or for interns, I think mostly what they focus on was on DSA only. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, that's what I've heard. For that, if you're aiming for that, if you're aiming for big things, for sure go for that. For sure go for DSA. And talking about English, honestly, like, of course, English is gonna be the most important. Like, if you know a bunch of things, and if you don't know how to communicate it to the next person, I don't think so it's of any use if you know a bunch of things and probably can get his startup scale to $1 million. If you are not able to communicate your idea and your solutions to him, it's of no use. What I did for like improving my English was, I was very lucky enough again. I got an English teaching class. Like I was a tutor and I was teaching a young boy. He's from like class 2. So I tutored him, and that helped me like kind of flourish and like be fluent on my own English. And yeah, this was a very lucky factor of me. But yeah, just try to make sure that you're very fluent on English, even if you do little grammatical mistakes, which I of course do also. But yeah, you have to make sure that you're fluent on most of the parts, because this is gonna be the one who's gonna be like making you stand out of the crowd for most of the time. And have a good accent, because sometimes they do like accents.
Cool, man. I think it's getting pretty late here. The dogs on your street are also complaining. We should call it. That's it, guys. That's all we had for this one. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.